This is Fashion 100 Sewing Sample Notebook, and this is sample number 32, the patch pocket. You have three pattern pieces to cut out. You have the piece where the pocket is going to be sewn to, and you have the pocket itself and the pocket lining. Cut out all three. There are notches on the pocket that you need to notch prior to removing the pattern piece. Notch, notch, there's also a notch here and a notch here. On this one, you need to notch and notch. Once you've done that, you're ready to begin. We're going to begin by sewing the pocket lining to the pocket piece. I'm going to go ahead, bring the two together, and I'm going to be stitching across that top at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. 1/2 inch is marked on the throat plate of your machine. You're going to be stitching to the notch, stop, back stitch, skip over, back stitch, and stitch the end, leaving a hole in the middle. We're going to begin by lining it up at a 1/2 inch and back stitching. Stitch to that first notch. Back stitch a little, pick it up, pull your thread out, put it back in, back stitch a couple of stitches, and stitch the rest of the way on the seam. Back stitch at the end. I now have stitched the lining to the pocket. I'm going to trim my threads. I am going to go to the iron, press this seam open. Then we are going to fold it down, lining up the edges, and we'll stitch around, creating our pocket. The lining access hole can usually be covered with hand stitching. I'm going to go ahead, place it on the fabric, and now I'm ready to stitch down and around at a 1/4 inch. I'm going to use a couple of pins to help hold the pocket in position as I stitch. Pin horizontally to the seam. We're going to begin stitching at the top. Now, my trick for stitching without accidentally going over and overshooting the seam is to bring the needle down into the position you want it, right at the top. I'm going to stitch forward, couple of stitches, backwards, couple of stitches, and forward again. This will also reinforce the top area of the pocket. Stitch, stop right at the edge, back stitch, stitch forward, and remove. You now have a curved and a squared seam pocket. And the pocket has been lined. There it is. Done.